station. ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲುಗಳು Hyderabad Express University Station, Netaji Forward.
Rachin Ravindra is a breath of fresh air. We shall talk about him a lot with Michael Vaughan and Simon Doull on Voltas FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. Credit to Mumbai for stretching it as far as they did, but just not enough runs on the board, guys.
No, I guess not. It was a good game. I like to see a real tight contest. I also like to see skill. And I thought we saw a huge amount of skill with the ball in hand with many of the bowlers, but Rachin Ravindra is a class act. Yeah. You know, when you see a player that chases down a total and he's had to go up and down in the gears, every now and again he needs to break out and get one into the stands. He's got that skill, but more often than not, he's just knocking it into the gaps, just staying there, controlling the innings. You know, you see Anish and Kishan style innings brilliant in the afternoon. You see so many powerful knocks in this era that gets lauded, but give me a skillful knock like that all day long. It's not 100, probably won't be celebrated in a few weeks' time. It'll be forgotten, but. Yeah. That was a class innings today. It's
a delight for purists, right? When you see a young cricketer not playing those random 360 kind of shots, those lap shots behind the keeper. This is proper cricket, very effective and does the job, goes home happy.
And a delight for the coaching staff and for captain as well, because that would have been a tough choice today. They've been very loyal to Devon Conway. Yeah. You know, Conway's been one of their guys 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, the Conway-Ruturaj partnership. Was the key for Chennai. Yeah. So, you know, they've been very loyal and they are a very loyal franchise. So to leave Devon Conway on the sidelines, to play Ravindra, they could only pick one of the other. Yeah. So a bit of a pat on the back for the coaching staff and skipper as well for making that decision. Yeah. But, you know, look, he gets the plaudits all around the world. He's a lovely kid, and I say that with all due respect, a lovely young man. Yeah. He absolutely lives the game of cricket. Yeah. He's got the world at his feet. We've seen, you know, 100 after 100 in the World Cup here. We saw a couple of hundreds in the Champions Trophy. We're just seeing this player develop in front of our eyes, and he's so skillful, Rachin Ravindra. And as Vaughan said, the ability to find the boundary when he needs to let Ruturaj go and do what he did, and just sit back at the other end, take one. You have the strike, skipper.
I just look at that. He faced 45 balls and there was just 6 boundaries. Yeah. You know, just 6 of those 45. So what's that in percentages? Yeah. You're looking at, 15% of his deliveries he hit to the boundaries. So 85% were just working it into the gaps, and every now and again he had to soak up the odd dot ball. Yeah. You know, you look at a young player these days, you know, that comes in and generally all they're about is boundaries. Where's the boundary? But that is the way to bat.
Joe Root, Kane Williamson, Virat Kohli well into the second half of their careers, if you like. Is this guy going to be part of the Fab Four of the next generation or this generation?
Oh, I think if you talk about the last 2 years, he's in it. You know, he's part of that group that plays all the formats. You know, T20 cricket, 50-over cricket, Test match cricket. He's as consistent as anybody across all the different formats, and we've got many more years to watch him play, but without any question in the last 2 years he's been right at the top in terms of an all-format player.
You spoke about his skill, but there's so much more that he offers in terms of his attitude, his maturity. I mean, the 5th wicket fell and one thought maybe there's a collapse, but he didn't allow any more stutters.
No, it's such a calm presence for a young man. Yeah. And that's one thing when he will walk up. So we had an incident at the Champions Trophy where you go to the net sessions the day before a game, you do a little piece for TV. And Matthew Hayden was doing the New Zealand game, I can't remember who it was against. And as soon as Haydos arrived at the nets, Rachin was straight up to him. He said, I couldn't get rid of him. I couldn't, you know, this is Haydos talking. He just wanted to talk to him about playing spin, how he swept, how he learnt, you know, when he came to India, when he came to the subcontinent, learning how to sweep. So he is that way inclined as well. He's got a great cricketing brain, but he just wants more knowledge. And he has no issue walking up to people he wants to talk to about the game and asking questions. And he's a very respectful young man, and that's sort of credit to his mum and dad and the way he's been brought up. He's the first one to walk over and shake your hand and look you in the eye when you get to a ground, and just little things like that make you look at a young player and say he has a huge amount of respect for the game, but also for those who have been there and maybe done that before him as well. So there's a lot to like about him.
Right, if Rachin was ice, Ruturaj Gaikwad was fire, a lot of fire. The captain, he came out all guns blazing. He went after every Mumbai bowler that was thrown at him. He went after Bolt, after Santner. Everyone that came in his way got clobbered. 6 fours and 3 sixes. Ruturaj Gaikwad loves batting at the Chepauk. 100 and about 350s, I think, last year at the Chepauk. He clearly is enjoying his role as captain of this very high-profile franchise.
Yeah, and to think who he's following in terms of the leadership to kind of keep the standards as high as they've been for such a long period of time will take a huge amount of mental pressure.
Yeah.
9 boundaries in 26 balls, so a different style of innings, but it was required. It needed that impetus of boundaries, just that oomph at the start of the innings when you're only chasing a small total. That power play is important. They just started to stumble a little bit in the power play, and then suddenly he hit 2 lovely boundaries off Trent Bolt through the offside. 2 different styles of driving. The second one was just a bit full, and you could just see him open the blade just to find the gap. And quality players, when they get an opportunity to score, they find the gap. That's what really good players can do. They have something in their mindset, in their eyes, that just sees the gap, and they can just work their blade into that position. So, yeah, a different style of innings, but such an important player. His numbers over the last few years have been so important for Chennai. And when he's the leader of this group, and we're now starting to talk about him as the captain. I know we mentioned that MS behind the stumps, kind of manoeuvring the troops, but we do see him now as the captain, which is... I guess a great credit to the way that he's gone about his business.
These are not small boundaries. It takes ability and guts to play those shots, because 156 could have been a tricky total had he not succeeded in playing those shots well.
Yeah, no, and they lose Tripathi early at the top. He's normally sort of... You think about Ruturaj as an opening batter. So 3's not a bad spot for him. If Tripathi's job is to go and play shots, if he gets away with it, great. Ruturaj can come in with a score on the board. If he doesn't, then Ruturaj is an opener anyway. So he can come in and get through that power play. But, I mean, you know, we know the talent in India. I'm not sure that, as far as right-handers are concerned, many at the top of the order in India hit the ball better through the offside.
Oh, are we talking, does he get in the second team or the third team?
Well, I think he opens in our second team.
Second team's in.
There is a T20 World Cup coming up at home in India.
We're going to do this one night. We're going to go through.
We're going to pick you 3 Indian sides.
3 Indian teams one night.
White ball teams.
Let's do a special video on
Cricbuzz. We'll have to do that.
Michael Vaughan and Simon Doull talking about the 3 teams that India can put on the field. But it's important for Gaikwad because there is such a crowd of top-order Indian batters vying for that spot in the Indian team. If he has a 600-run IPL, he'll be tough to ignore.
Yeah, there's so many that didn't play in the Champions Trophy. I mean, Sky didn't play, Jaiswal didn't play, Samson. You know, you're looking at a group of players. You put Ruturaj in there as well. There's many others that are obviously not in the...
Sharma is there.
You kind of look at... My advice to all those that aren't in don't even think about it. The only thing you can think about is just performing for your franchise. Do as well as you possibly can. Ishan Kishan's got off to a flying start, got 3 figures. That innings will be talked about for a number of weeks. Ruturaj has had a great start. His team have won. He's captain well. He's got a nice 50 off 26 balls. And that's all you can do. And I guess all the selectors, they'll be saying to all the players, try and make our life as hard as possible. Try and make sure that by the time we're coming to the selection, we're not picking from 24 players. If we have to pick 15 out of 36 players, 40 players, because that group's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that's better for the selectors.
Now, history suggests that once Chennai make up their mind about something, they don't change things too easily. And yet, is there a case for Gaikwad to open with Rachin Ravindra, or would you stick to Tripathi?
Well, I think you've just said it, they'll stick to it. You know, they're not going to change it over the course of 2 or 3 games. They'll give it a run of games. And they've obviously had in their mindset this kind of plan before this year's IPL. Stephen Fleming, MS Dhoni, the think tank, for many, many years. You put Michael Hussey in there. Simons is still there, the bowling coach. You know, it's the think tank that thinks strategically about what they're going to deliver. And if it doesn't work in the first game, they certainly won't change it for the second. They'll probably give it 5 or 6 games. And then if it's not working, they'll change it.
Well, they went through a whole season with Shane Watson getting, less than 100 runs.
And the final.
And then the final, what happened? You know, things like that. They stick to their guns. So you got to think he'll keep opening. Because that's the way they want to play.
It is a chance for someone like a Tripathi who may be on the wrong side of 30, I suppose. Mid-30s, maybe.
And if he's going to play, he can't. We saw it, was it last season, on the odd occasion when he came in outside of the power play, he just struggled. If he's going to play, he has to open. Whereas Ruturaj has got the skills, I think, to bat at 3, even after the power play, against the spinners, against everybody. So I think that's probably the reasoning behind it.
And then they've got a few others to follow, Shivam Dubey as well as Deepak Hooda, Sam Curran. It's a long batting lineup. But if you look at Dubey, Hooda and Gaikwad, the three men that perhaps weren't even prepared for a young kid from Kerala who hasn't even played domestic cricket. Guys, I've got to get you to talk about Vignesh Puthur, who none of us talked about.
Well, they'll be scouting now. Don't worry about that. There'll be video. There'll be every team now that's coming up against Mumbai will be looking at that video from tonight.
Yeah.
What can we see? What are we looking for? I mean, he bowled beautifully.
Yeah.
We saw two really high-quality performance from left-arm wrist spinners tonight. One who's well into an international career and who is fairly established, and one who is just starting out on his sort of high-profile career, for want of a better term. Simply superb.
Yep. He played in the Kerala Cricket League, and I've been told he played only 3 matches, picked up only 2 wickets. But some talent scout, possibly RP Singh, had a chance to take a look at what he did there. Take a look at that, his figures from today. And he was picked up, called for a trial, and he bowled in the nets to the MI team in the SA20. And here he is. I mean, you just have to go and look. There is so much talent available all across India.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, having different teams in different leagues really adds to the kind of talent pool, because you can give a young kid an opportunity to go and bowl in the nets. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, hello, this kid looks quite good, and then you can give him a trial match, and then you can just throw him in. I like the analogy on commentary, actually. It was a young Kuldeep Yadav, because he bowled at similar pace to Kuldeep. A bit slow, but he looks, you know, he's small, he's young. Yeah. But when you can deliver that just natural action, he's got beautiful action. Yeah. You know, once he gets a bit stronger and he can fizz it a bit quicker, you know, it's only the start of we hope, a long career. But, you know, when you can spin it either way. The one, actually, which impressed me, it didn't get the wicket, was the googler that went inside the edge of Shivam Dubey. Yeah. Just missed off stump. I thought, hello. That was the one ball. Of all the rest, you know, trying to whack it out of the ground, he got 3 caught on the edge. That was just his evening. You know, it just happened to be that the ball went to his fielders. There'll be nights that the ball goes into the stands when he bowls it that slow. But that one, that was a googly, and I went, yeah, he's got a little bit of something.
He's gutsy, not afraid to toss it up.
No, and bowled quite slowly. I mean, a lot of deliveries in the 70s and early 80s, which is sort of what we talked about with the likes of Kuldeep. Noor a lot quicker. Yep. He's got something about him, and they've obviously seen it. And you know, Vaughan makes a great point. Don't underestimate the value of an away trip as well. I mean, how many times would he have been away in and around a franchise team for a good period of time? So that away trip to South Africa might have done him the world of good. Get to know a few of the players, get to just sit around in a changing room or an environment with a franchise team to get himself a little bit more ready for this moment today. And obviously not on the winning side, but a really good performance. He'll have a bit more belief about him, and it'll just serve him well moving forward. There's going to be times in this tournament, if he bowls 4 overs, he's going to go for 50. Yeah, that's just a nature of the beast. Yeah, but
the key is the 3 wickets.
If he's
if you get wickets in T20 cricket, even if you go for 40, 50, before you've got 3 wickets.
And if you look at the macro picture, he's part of a franchise that has in the past built stars. They've created stars. MI. So it all augurs really well for this young.
Yeah, and full credit for them to throw a young player in. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I will say it's probably the right pitch and the right boundary size to make your debut. If you're bowling a little bit of mystery spin, there'll be harder challenges at the 1KD.
Of course.
But if he's willing to just have a little bit of a play and he's got the variations, you can just get a little bit of something out of the surface. Yeah, he could be that. I mean, every IPO you kind of look around and go, who's going to be the one player that you've never heard of? Right. That's going to have a great time.
We've had one today already, maybe 2.
He's had a good start.
What else could Mumbai have done? Now, there will be something shocking in this bowling card. Mitchell Santner, in Chennai, at the Chepauk, doesn't even bowl his full quota. Could they have done something else? Should they have used Santner a bit earlier, perhaps?
Left-handers, he struggled. I mean, they got to him. I don't like the match-up sort of chat that happens a lot. You know, you can't, left-armers can't bowl. He dropped a couple short tonight, which is unusual for him. One of the early ones from Gaikwad was just a short ball, which he hammered over a wideish long on. Not the usual Mitch Santner tonight. Maybe just a little bit of that element of going back to Chennai, where he sort of felt at home for a long period of time. I know MS Dhoni took him under his wing for a little bit of time down there as well, and it probably felt like home for a long time, and then you got to change franchise. But he's an experienced player, and he'll look back on that tonight and know he wasn't.
They played the right-handers played a couple of shots that I would say to any young right-handers that trying to play left-hand spin, you've got to have the ability to press forward to go down to try and get the drive. But as soon as it's slightly short, that I was taught to rock back and cut the ball, cut with a spin. But what they're taught now is rock back and smack it over mid-wicket. Yeah. And Ruturaj did it earlier. I thought, that is the shot you play to a left-arm spinner. You press forward and obviously Santa will be thinking, he's going to dance down and try and launch me out the ground. And then you just go right back. And because you've pressed forward, you can get back quickly. You press back and bosh. Yeah. Smack it over mid.
The last ball, I know it was a left-hander in Ravindra, but same thing.
Yeah.
Press forward. He's always looking there. Important. Straight back and donks him over mid-wicket. For
T20 cricket is clearly challenging the fundamentals of batting.
But that shot can be played in all formats.
Sure.
And Test cricket even more so, because you generally have more players in.
Yeah.
But you can play and smack one over mid-wicket. As a captain, you're like going, oh no, no chance.
How do you stop that? Could Trent Boult have done something else? Did he bowl a bit too short? Didn't find his rhythm, 3 overs, 27, no wickets?
I think we're being picky. I think we're being picky. I thought Mumbai were excellent in the field. I look at the batting display.
Yeah.
If Surrey Kumar could have batted another 5 or 6 overs, Tilak Varma, that partnership, and you look at Noor Ahmed, there was that period 11 to 15, it was 3 for 28.
Yeah.
That 5 overs for me lost them the game.
Yeah.
The rest of the game, I thought they hung in there, they scrapped. You got to remember, there's no Bumrah, there's no Hardik Pandya.
Exactly.
Rohit Sharma's got naught. Young kids making his debut. Yeah. You kind of look at this Mumbai side tonight. It'll look different in 2 or 3 weeks' time, but. From usually, Mumbai lose every game, the first game. So let's put an L by their name. But I thought they played new. I thought they played.
They
okay.
last won their opening game back in 2012 against Chennai in Chennai. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But they won trophies, so it's all right.
Exactly.
What should the chatter be in the dressing room right now?
I think if you're sitting back there as a coach, as a captain, you're saying great performance. We're probably 15, 20 short.
Yep.
With the bat, if we get those 15, 20, we're right back in the game.
Yep.
And we might even have a chance to win the game. We can put some more pressure on them. So I think heads up, not a bad performance at all. We've fought all the way to the end. We didn't give it away at any stage, and we'll be better for the run.
If only they had a few more runs, but it wasn't to be, because this left-arm wrist spinner from Afghanistan, Noor Ahmed, picked up 4 wickets, and he is our coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir coolers, powerful air throw, ultimate comfort. If it wasn't for this man, who knows, Mumbai might have had more, Simon.
Yeah, well, as Vaughan said, that period of play where he strangled them through the middle, and not only is he getting wickets, they can't get him away. So they're not getting runs. They're not even getting 1s, 2s, let alone getting boundaries. Yeah. So you're not getting him away. He's just choking you from one end. Left-handers, right-handers. He's the undoing of both. So he's highly skilled, and I think he will enjoy as much as anyone. I know we talk about Ashwin going back and Khalil performing now tonight at Chennai. He is one that I think will enjoy more than anything, having MS Dhoni behind the stumps and having MS Dhoni to talk to. And if he can just listen to him, I think he could really benefit enormously from that.
It's the MSD University where good players become better. Now, he broke that partnership between Tilak Varma and Suryakumar Yadav, got the wickets of number 4, 5, 6 and 7. Yeah. This performance augurs really well for Chennai, because they play 6 of their 7 home games in the first half of the IPL. Before the end of April, they play 6 games at home.
Who did the draw? Dhoni?
Yeah, I think so. MS's family kind of pulled it out of the hat.
His uncle's brother's cousin's son did the draw. What's going on there?
Well, I tell you what, he's got 4 in the first game. He'll have plenty by the end of April, because this pitch is it's hand-picked.
6 of their first 7 games. Yeah. So what are you giving him, 3 a game?
Well, let's give him 2.5.
He got 4, so give him another 2 every.
Yeah,
so he's going to have 15 wickets by the time they leave.
Possible purple cap contender. Or we just.
Oh, he won't be far off. And I tell you why, because he bowls deliveries that gets batters out without them making too much of an error. Like Tilak Varma's in, and suddenly he bowls him a little googly, fast arm speed, can't quite pick it. He goes back actually to a length ball that he probably should have gone forward, but because of the hand speed and the arm speed, you're like, where is it? Gets trapped on the crease. So he gets players out with really good bowling. The batter doesn't need to make too many errors. He's going to get plenty.
He got good batters out in Tilak Varma and Suryakumar Yadav as well, and deservedly so. Noor Ahmed is our coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir coolers, Powerful air throw, ultimate comfort. Right. Any other lessons for the Mumbai Indians, or just brush it off and look at the next game? Don't worry too much.
I don't think you can analyse too much. No. You know, they won't even talk about that period, 11 to 15, where they didn't quite get it right.
Yep.
You know, I'm pretty sure they're saying, like, we are in the coaching department. They came up against the bowler that bowled a bit of magic. That's all. It was a really good spell of bowling.
First doubleheader of the IPL 2025, and the first one saw over 500 runs being scored. 100 of those were scored by a former MI player, Ishan Kishan, 106 not out, batted through of just 47 on his SRH debut. He's one of those players who has a point to prove to his previous franchise. 287, just way too much for Rajasthan, but they did make a match out of it. Scorers Dhruv Jurel played a very, very attractive innings, but Ishan Kishan, someone who will take a lot of confidence from being around a team that wants him to bat like this.
Yeah, and he's obviously coming in on the back of that opening partnership.
Yeah,
you know, so he's gone to a franchise. We spoke about it before the game, that he's gone to a franchise that've got good leaders. The culture and the environment will be very, very good.
Yep.
And he's got a batting lineup that are full of confidence and nice football, and he's on a good pitch.
Yep.
So no wonder that he kind of. And when you get in, you've got to maximise. It's like any format of the game. If it's your day, make sure it's a good day, and you put something rather large in the end column on the right. He's done what not many do. You know, he's scored 100 in T20 cricket at a great rate of knots, and the Sunrisers have put that flag down. Yeah. That flag down that they did early last year, they've done it again in 2025.
Team to beat?
Wow, we haven't seen 4 of them yet, have we?
So they'll have more days like that.
Yeah,
I don't have them as a team to beat.
They are the batting lineup to fear.
Yeah.
I won't say the team to beat, but the batting lineup to fear.
Very quickly though, for RR, they came quite close.
Good performance, a good run chase. Average bowling performance. More work required on that front. Have they got the skills and the players to restrict sides to low scores?
Yep.
Possibly not. They're going to have to be a lot better on any given day to restrict sides to under 160, 170, 180 with that bowling lineup. So they've got to find a way. And I thought the chase was really courageous, to be honest. Those games can fall away very quickly when you're 3 down early on.
Yeah.
And they were 3 down early on, but that partnership with Jurel and Sampson was superb. Great to see Dhruv Jurel getting runs, and Sanju just, not obviously fielding at the moment, so out for the first 3 games as far as keeping is concerned. He'll be their super sub as a batter. Great to see him get a performance on the board, but they were always chasing too many because of that brilliant batting performance and an average bowling performance.
Lots to work on in the bowling department, RR?
Yeah, I'd be worried about that bowling. More so the makeup of it. I look at the attack and think, where's the real mystery? Yeah. And Thiksana at the top was bowling almost off spinners to left hands. I think he's better than that. I'd like to see him just bowl the mystery spinners that we've seen him for quite a few years now, both spinning it either way. Jofra Archer, it's not just because of today's figures of 4 overs, 0 for 76. They're the most expensive figures in IPL history. It's the course of the last 3 months of watching Jofra Archer. There's something not right. Doull is more of a bowler than me, but I can see when someone's not delivering snap at the crease. There's something not right in the run-up. Whether that's the injury, there's something not right in the release. It's just a little bit open. That wrist position doesn't look like it was 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm not just speaking because of today. I've watched him now for a few months and thought, there's something not quite right with Jofra Archer.
Jofra Archer will be a subject of debate all across online, on Twitter as well as on Instagram. But tactically, I thought they made a mistake bowling first.
Well, absolutely. We talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about that as soon as they did it. Afternoon match, and I know I said it, I'm a big fan of batting first. You're just giving the best batting side, on paper, in the comp, an opportunity to go out there and blow you away, and they did. They did not need a second invitation. Yeah. So that, to me, was a poor tactical decision. Now, that comes down to coach and captain. Yeah. Tactically, that was a really poor decision because the surface is not going to get better in an afternoon game. It can only tire a little bit. Now, I don't think it tired. I think it was a great surface. But it's not going to get any better because you're not batting under lights. Yeah. So why put your bowlers under pressure? That's a batting captain's decision.
They've allowed Hyderabad to find a certain momentum. Both home teams prevailing on this first doubleheader Sunday of the IPL 2025. SRH find themselves top of the table with this massive 44-run win against Rajasthan Royals. And take a look at the points table. It'll tell you that RCB are at 2, Chennai will be at 3. These 3 teams have opened their accounts in the first 3 games, and they're still early days, so don't you worry about the teams that have lost. Mumbai, Kolkata, Rajasthan. There's a long, long way to go in the tournament. Right. Monday, we'll see just the one game between the Delhi Capitals and the Lucknow Super Giants. Lots of players have gone across to the other side. Rishabh Pant's Lucknow Super Giants up against Delhi captain Akshar Patel. Now, we don't quite know if KL Rahul will be playing. They're not too sure. But for Rishabh Pant to partner with Justin Langer, an Aussie with a young Indian superstar, it has worked for him in the past with Ricky Ponting, but Pant and Justin Langer, what do you make?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at. I think the opposites can be attracted to each other.
Are they opposites?
Well, I'm looking at Rishabh Pant, Justin Langer, very, very intense. Yeah. Justin Langer, that was so driven, determined, maximised every ounce of what he got given. Then you've got Rishabh, just looks like a carefree cricketer who just gives it a good old Yahoo. That could work. You know, look, Justin Langer's been a brilliant coach. He did so well for Australia. He'll have them playing in a very strategic way.
Yeah.
He'll have them. He will look at the data. He'll look at all the information, but within that, he'll want the likes of Rishabh Pant to go out and just express his talents.
Yep.
I would think he'll probably bat him higher up the order. I would think he'll be looking.
Is he open for you?
No, I don't think so. Maybe 3. If I'm managing Rishabh Pant, I want him facing as many of those 120 balls as possible. He's got the ability to get me 3 figures, so I'd hope want him coming down the back end just to get a cameo, 40 or 50.
Who opens?
Well, I have him opening the batting in this side.
First.
So I've got Mitch Marsh and Rishabh Pant at the top. Nicholas Pooran at 3, Markram at 4, Miller at 5. That's how I want that line. And I think that top 5 is as good as most in the competition or any in the competition. Now, other than that, I don't know who else could open.
Marsh, maybe?
Well, Marsh is...
Marsh and Pant, yeah.
But I just have Marsh and Pant at the top of the order for me. And it's not... Yeah. I mean, he's so talented, Rishabh Pant. But I want Pooran at 3 and then Markram and Miller.
Could Markram open?
He could open. They may ask him to open, but you got 2 right-handers at the top then. I'd prefer to just have a left and a right combo with Nicky P at 3 and Markram, and just go at them. You go. I mean, if those 3 get going,
it wouldn't surprise
me. You talk about Sharma, Kishan, and Head.
Yeah.
If those 3 get going, please look out.
It wouldn't surprise me if they went something like Marsh at 3, Markram, Pant, Marsh, and then Pooran at 4. They might go with something like that. But I agree with Doull. That on paper, we talked about Sunrisers being a bowler's nightmare. That's not far off.
But their bigger worry, Michael, is the bowling. Lots of injuries. Mohsin Khan out of the tournament. In comes Shardul Thakur. The other injuries, Mayank Yadav injured. Avesh Khan. Akash Deep still recovering. Where are the bowlers?
Well, they've got Bishnoi. So he's going to have to bowl
Can't
nicely.
bowl 20.
His 4 overs are going to have to be handy 4 overs. That's always going to be an issue. But that batting lineup it's powerful.
Yep.
Just trying to find. I mean, if they play Marsh, Pooran, and Marsh, Pooran, Miller, Markram, they can't play an overseas bowler. They can't play Sharma, and Marsh is not bowling at the moment. So, yeah, it's a tough decision. Can they afford to leave one of those guys out and play Shamar Joseph? Because if those seamers are all injured, you know, we don't know about Mayank, whether they are looking... I mean, he might be injured and out of the tournament. They might be looking for a replacement for him. Rajvardhan Hungageka. Chennai boy. Showed a lot of promise at a young age. Under 19 World Cup was really good. But does he get a start? He probably has to in that lineup with the others injured.
Lots to worry about.
Yeah, they're going to have to get 250, 260, I think, to try and defend it, because if their bowling lineup's a bit weak.
Win the toss, chase all the time.
Oh, not all the time. Depends on the situation in terms of the day or the night. But tomorrow night, you'd want to be chasing without doubt.
The match will be played in Visakhapatnam. This is meant to be a home game for the Delhi Capitals. They've been in trouble as well with the decision of Harry Brook to not come to the IPL. 2 weeks before the IPL, they haven't named a replacement. It's not fair on DC.
No, and the rules are the rules. You know, Harry will now have to serve a ban. I think it's 2 years that he'll have to serve, and in the IPL and the owners, I can't imagine he'll be top of the tree in a couple of years' time to come back with. Obviously, he didn't come last year. He's pulled out this year, and I think England made it very, very clear. You know, they were pretty much honest. Last year, I think they did one or two of them a favour, and maybe rang up the franchises and.
Yeah.
Dare I say it, made the odd excuse or two. This year they made it very clear. If you put yourself in the auction, if you pull out, you've got to serve your ban. And it's fair and right. And, you know, when you get that call, was it about a week before or 10 days before?
Yeah, 12.
They clearly haven't been able to find a replacement. I did hear a whisper that they went for Ben Duckett. But Ben Duckett doesn't want to come over.
Daryl Mitchell is one of the other options.
Daryl Mitchell as well, but I do think that they tried to get Ben Duckett to come over. He didn't fancy coming over either. So I actually look at Harry Brook's game, and I'm not too sure what's going on away from the game, but in terms of his game to develop as being, you know, we talked about that bracket, you know, the top bracket. Rachin Ravindra's in that bracket. Harry Brook's not in that bracket at the minute.
Not yet.
You know, to get into that bracket, what does he need to get better at? Playing spin, playing in India. You know, that's the one area of his game. You look at Pakistan, when it's flat, he's been incredible. As soon as the ball spun in Pakistan, he struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, most teams now, you look at him in the one-day series against India, he had the odd 50, the odd flamboyant 50 innings, but, you know, when the ball was just gripping and just grabbing a little bit, there's just a few things in his game that he just needs to improve upon. So I would have thought that playing here in the IPL, particularly that he's in the hat to be the T20 white ball captain of England, in a year's time, there's a T20 World Cup, where is it? India and Sri Lanka. You'd have thought that this period here, playing in the IPL, for his game personally, could have been a really valuable one.
Brook pulling out means they have one less foreign player to choose from. Just 6 foreign players. Who are your 4, Simon?
Well, Fraser McGurk, 100%. Mitchell Starc.
Faf du Plessis, vice captain. And you got to play Starc and Stubbs.
I mean, what do they do about their bowling lineup? Mukesh, Mohit, Kuldeep, Starc. Natarajan, Akshar's obviously going to do a job through the middle. They can bring one in as well. So you probably think Fraser McGurk, Faf, Starc and Stubbs would be the 4 you're looking at there. And if Starc needs a rest like he did last year, Chimera is not a bad replacement from my mind. It's a side I think is a very strong side on paper.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Akshar Patel is one of the unsung heroes of Indian cricket in the last few years.
Yeah. He's a brilliant player.
He's a cracking player.
Brilliant.
You know, and to me, he's just that genuine all-rounder. He gun in the field. He will. I mean, look at the Champions Trophy. He was popped into bat at 5 when it was either trouble or something was needed. He just never lets you down.
He's done that in red ball cricket as well.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just as an international cricketer, he doesn't quite get the plaudits he deserves, I don't think. And he very rarely ever lets any team down that he plays for. So I'm pleased to see he's captain.
Yeah.
I think that responsibility will make him even better. And as I say, with the ball, with the bat and in the field, I just think he's, you know, I mean, he's had to play second fiddle to one of the best we've seen in Jadeja for a long, long period of time. But he's not far behind. I tell you what, he's running him close.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's 2 names I'm going to mention. Jake Fraser McGurk at the top of the order.
Yeah.
Wonderful talent, but I'm now expecting him to be more consistent.
Yeah.
You know, that youthfulness that you give young players, that little bit of string. You know, that little bit of string, you say, go on, have a go.
Yep.
Well, that string now, for me, has run out.
Yeah.
You know, he's now got to deliver. He's now got to start getting he's not a senior player, but he's played enough T20 cricket, white ball cricket, internationally, franchise, to realise that he can't just go out and play one way. You've got to have a little bit more than just trying to smack every ball for 6. So looking forward to seeing how he goes. And the new mentor of Delhi, Kevin Peterson.
For 20 days, and then he flies back again.
Well, I don't care how long he's here for or there for, but I'll see every
Part-time mentor.
Well, part-timer, but I've been following Delhi's social media, and he's already filling it every day. So, looking forward to seeing how the mentor.
Well, it's a bit like playing for England, though, isn't it? Because they've just seem to be on the golf course every day.
Well, he'll be playing. Well, there's a nice golf course or 2 in Delhi, so he'll be enjoying that. But it's
he had a hole in one the other day.
What, in Delhi?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it.
Okay, so Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson is clearly a mentor to watch out for. But in tomorrow's game, very quickly, one each player to watch out for.
I'm going to say Jake Fraser McGurk, and I am going to say Mitchell Marsh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
With the bat only, doesn't go.
Only with the bat, yeah. Mitchell Marsh.
Gosh, where am I going to go here? I mean, Aksha, for me, to captain. I think if he has a good season, then they are going to have a very, very good season. On the other side of the coin, Nicholas Pooran.
Nicky P, the very dangerous Nicky P.
Set the tournament alight early.
Oh, yeah. He is their big man with the bat, the Lucknow Super Giants. But the player to watch out for in this Cricbuzz studio is Joy Bhattacharya. Even if he isn't around, he keeps troubling us with really tricky questions. What was it today with the Joy Factor? Let's bring it up very quickly. Which cricketer playing in this year's Indian T20 League made his test debut in the first ever day-night test? Any guesses, gentlemen?
Well, I mean, I've had to be an Aussie or a Kiwi. We thought Travis Head, but I don't think it was Travis Head's time. He was after that. And it certainly wasn't any of the other Aussies playing in the first game, so it had to be someone from New Zealand, did it?
I've honestly no clue.
He normally relates it to one of the players playing in today's game.
Yeah.
He was in action today, didn't bowl his full quota of overs.
Mitchell.
The New Zealand white ball captain.
Mitchell Santner.
Mitchell Santner it is.
Yeah.
Right, we got lots and lots of entries. Who's the lucky one that gets a thumbs up from Michael Vaughan and Simon Doull? Mageswarana Vijay Kumar at Maggie469. Well done, well done, well done.
Yeah, well
thumbs
done.
up from our experts. And a thumbs up to Gaurav Kapoor as well, because he's got 2 right on our guessing game competition. I believe us, the others, are at about 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's find out. GK at 1, Michael Vaughan on his first day here, Simon Doull as well. They've got 1 out of 4 right. I'm there as well, because I got 1 right today as well. Rohan and I, level on points. I'm sure he's fighting with the producer because he's below me despite being level on points. But that's okay. The others yet to open their account. Joy, Murli Karthik, Amit Mishra haven't got a single 1 right. It's a high-pressure game, this.
It's tough. I don't get nervous coming to Cricbuzz apart from that game.
That's the only thing. It's the best prize in the building, to be honest.
You guys are in again tomorrow here?
Yeah, we're in tomorrow.
Excellent. They'll have a happier time because the very, very talented Saimi Kher will be in this very chair. I will sit back at home and watch Cricbuzz live Hindi and English on my phones. Make sure you join us at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Saimi Kher will be with you for Voltas FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye for now. Good night.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ ಚೆನ್ನೈ Hyderabad Express Station Netaji Obod.